At OBS, we are good. So if Twitch is having trouble showing it, that's nothing we can fix.
Right. Right. No, absolutely.
Viewership just shot up to 6. Everyone's logging
Yeah.
Woo! 6 viewers.
There were a couple people. Someone that knows Mr. and Lady. Was on
Yeah.
the same
cool.
thing.
So his name was Brom. Okay, now we're live.
I think we were live the whole time. I think we were just having connection issues to the Twitch thing.
We can look back at the
nothing
video
changed.
and look at the chat and see what the.
We'll see what happens.
Sinjin or something. It wasn't like a name. It was
Said his name was Brom.
Huh?
Brom Stoker.
All right, shout out to Braun.
Brom.
Yeah, Brom. Hi, Brom. Okay. Wakanga looks up and says, "Oh yes, please be seated, friends. I will be with you in just a moment."
What does he look like?
I have a picture of him, so that's fine. They describe him as a bit of a dandy. He's dressed very colorfully.
Oh.
I should not drop that onto the other one.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a kind of a powder on his face, and he has a smell of like a sweet kind of spice and incense to him.
Okay.
He's dressed colorfully, although that is not uncommon here. But there's a lot more fabric on him than you would expect of a local. And he's just got kind of a flowy way about him. He has a lot of grand gestures when he speaks. He said, "Please be seated. I'll be with you in just a moment." And then he's got a very large hand script when he's writing and signing things. He's very flamboyant. Syndra will tell you on your way up and in here that each of the merchant princes has kind of eked out a niche amongst the things that run the city, and his is information and knowledge. So he is the one that knows all the secrets. He is also the only one of the princes that, as far as anyone can tell, actually does magic.
How many merchant princes are there?
I believe 9. We'll double check that for you. 7. I'm sorry, 7. 7 merchant princes. And if you'd like, I can give you a brief rundown on all of them. However, that is up to you.
I think we're good for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Specifically, how many of the merchant princes seem to be suffering the illness? Might need that for leverage.
Yeah, does Wakanda seem to be suffering?
That's not powder.
Wakanga does not. Seems to be fine.
Okay.
I cannot answer that question for you until you actually meet any of these people.
The information broker of the town doesn't know?
He has not spoken to you yet, so that is
Okay.
he's still signing things.
Okay.
So this is pre-conversation signing.
Gotta look around his office.
It's very colorfully decorated. There are some minor magical effects, like candles that don't seem to melt. A lot of continual lights the place. Although at this time of day, it's mostly natural light coming through the big windows. Big windows mean wealth. Glass is expensive. So.
Especially when the dinosaurs crash through them and you have to replace them.
Exactly. Exactly. Dinosaur-proof glass windows are very expensive.
Triceratops in a china shop.
Without waiting for Wakanga to finish what he's doing, Numidia will walk up with a big smile on his face, grab this hand, shake it warmly. It is very nice to meet you.
You too, friend. Just one moment, please. And he's.
Oh, watch Argos.
Yeah. Go ahead, Argos. Just whatever wires you can find, just rip them out.
He's more a chewer than a tugger.
And he's scurrying, like he's like still shaking your hand and finishes it and hands that scroll to a scribe and says, "Off with you," and then stands up and greets you more properly. He says, "Welcome to my home. I hope Syndra told you only good things about me. She and I go way back, which is not always the best." And he gives Syndra a wink. And even behind her mask, you can hear her roll her eyes.
Ew.
It's the withering. It's like crinkled paper.
It's like two sponges rubbing together.
Can I get you anything? Tea, wine, something more exotic?
The time
Yes.
of day? Mid-afternoon?
Here it's
It's
still
really- it's
probably
like
mid to
got-
late afternoon. You're in the same time.
It's already
zone.
established we're day drinkers too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like a glass of milk.
Are you still like a saucer of milk that you prefer?
I'm a lady. I will pinkies up in a glass.
Pinky up while you're face down.
And he will say, "Oh, milk. You know, where you're from, that may not seem like a delicacy, but here, a fine choice. Milk is rare in these parts,
Well,
but he
thank
has
you.
it."
Raptor milk.
That's not milk.
Ew.
Tea, please.
Tea, absolutely. And any servants nearby will take your drink order, and they'll scurry back
What
with
size teacup do I get?
You
He-
get a bowl.
I just get this teeny tiny
it.
thing.
You're 8 feet tall.
7 feet 8 inches.
7 feet. So so a cup will be small, but not like a giant holding a normal cup.
Right.
Okay, got it. Okay, so Wakanga says, "Of course, any friends of Syndra are friends of mine, and anybody that she is paying is always a friend. So,
Do friends get to stay here?
I'm afraid I don't have the quarters for that. I have too many business contacts coming in and out. Now, what can I do for you?"
Well, I guess we'll need supplies. If you're able to provide rations and weapons and...
He'll say, "Look, I suppose my generous nature may have provided you the wrong idea. Nothing is free in the city of Nyanzaru. I cannot provide everything for you. Surely, if you wish to partake of the food here in the villa, I can absolutely offer you that. But outfitting for an expedition, I'm afraid my expedition days are well behind me."
Can you recommend some place where it might be...
Absolutely,
Outfitted?
anything can be purchased in the markets, and I'm sure I can scrounge up a few guides that might be able to help you.
Thank you.
Back there.
The as the one responsible for collecting all the information, we've only been given the very basics. What can you tell us about the Deathmonger or the Soulmonger? Soulmonger.
Well, of course, the information that I provided to Syndra as soon as I could. Other than its name and the fact that it's supposedly here in Chult, I don't think I could tell you much. Although, to be honest, I would be surprised if a region as illustrious as ours would be the cause of such a terrible, terrible thing.
Has anyone come through customs lately with some strange packages or fake identities or...
Smuggling happens here daily, although we keep it a tight iron fist on such things. But nothing. I'm assuming to the degree that you're describing.
Any news on undead rising up?
And he'll
In
kind
a
of,
particular area?
his face will sour just a bit, and he'll say, well, unfortunately, even in a region as grand as our own, we are faced with our share of undeath. And actually, if you look on the map, you can see areas where undead are reported to have been encountered.
Skull and crossbones.
See the skull and crossbones and the colored regions?
Oh, okay.
So the lighter yellow is the occasional undead. The darker one is much more common. So it's like a...
Oh, this is gonna be a short adventure. Okay.
Let's go right
Look,
there.
yeah, we're right. We can go
And
right
then we
there.
can fall right there to the Valley of Dread.
Cool.
Good plan.
And he'll say, the jungles are wrought with peril. That's why I stay safely here in the port. But yes, undead are common in some regions of our Grand Peninsula. I cannot say that I've heard any rumors of them being more common than usual.
So it looks like there's already been an expedition out against them. There's a Camp Righteous marked out on our map.
Yes. Expeditions have been sent to the jungle for years. The Camp Righteous has been there for some time.
Are they specifically fighting back hordes of undead, or do they have some other purpose?
I will get back to you on that. Give me 1 second.
I'm just saying because it looks like they have like a beachhead on the other side of that river.
Right. So Camp Righteous is two. Can't figure. There's Vengeance and Righteous, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So. Oh yes, Camp Righteous, of course. Some members of the Gauntlet have gone there to stave off undead as best they can. I actually haven't heard from them in some time,
What
so
is
I'm
the
not
Gauntlet?
sure.
I'm sure their smugness is keeping them safe.
Factions back in the
And he will also laugh at that. Do you actually ask what the Gauntlet is?
Yeah, I think even though I'm an urban bounty hunter, I still have no idea what's going on.
Members of the Order of the Gauntlet vow to protect others from the depredations of evildoers. Honey, could you do me a favor and silence my phone? No, it's okay. Crusaders against all evil in the world. Frankly, I don't know where they get the money or the time to deal with it, but to each their own, I suppose.
Alright, so now I would like to know, how many of the other merchant princes seem to be suffering the same fate as Syndra?
Right. And he'll say, my friend, this is a delicate matter, but of course I have birds everywhere. None of my fellow princes seem to be telling anyone that they have come down with any kind of illness because it would be bad for business. However, I can tell you that Jessamine has been hiding out a little more frequently in her villa lately.
Where is her villa?
Like down the street. They all live in the same area.
Okay.
Leverage.
Would you be able to
Yep.
get us an introduction to her?
Certainly. You may do better at the Goldthorn, but I can do my best. All of us princes are, as you can see, very busy. Even as he says that, you notice that for someone who's supposedly governing a city and running a mercantile empire, he doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, he was signing a few papers when you got there, and some servants look like they may be busy, but he certainly seems to have as much time for you guys as he wants to
Is
give.
that a case of good delegation, or things aren't as prosperous as they might seem?
More that he is in such a comfortable position that he doesn't really have to do much day to day.
Okay.
He is, as much as he once was, a nose to the grindstone merchant, he is now clearly an affluent noble.
So, this other merchant, what was her name again?
Jessamine. Jessamine.
So, now, would you happen to know where her birds would be paying attention, that we might be able to slip them some information about us going on the search?
You would like to contact Jessamine secretly? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, just in case we can't be as open about our intentions, we could disseminate that information to her through her spies.
Oh, I see. So you would like a back channel to Jessamine so that she doesn't know?
Yes.
Okay. Wakanga is... I'm sorry, friend. She keeps her matters probably a little more private than the rest of us, so I'm not able to give you that information. She is, of course, the one that deals with sanctions here in town. He says sanctions with like a kind of dripping malice.
Sure. Does the word Nangalore mean anything to you? No reason.
Are there Nazis in Chult?
96. It's like, Mangalore. Should pull open the actual map because the one that's hidden doesn't.
That place with the crocodiles and piranhas? I know it well.
Yes, 4 crocodiles. 4. He says, Nagalore, it sounds like probably one of the ruins to the south. I can't give you too much detailed information, but surely someone in town will be able to. But if you give me some time, I can have my scribes look through the archives, see if they can find anything.
Yeah, like a map or something. That'd be great.
Okay. I'll do my best, friend.
Thank you.
Can I see your map? Can I color the crocodiles?
Sure.
Color the crocodiles. I wanted to print a colored one, but I thought the black and white might look more old.
Authentic.
Yeah, I've tried to age it too.
Yeah. I should have soaked it in tea.
I just want to make sure that we know where the crocodiles are.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
you have to,
where they are.
you have
they
to
will
burn a
never
couple of
move.
the edges too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these crocodile traps, or are they just
They're
swimming about?
Yeah,
Just
they're
in the
actual
boat.
crocodiles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're the actual crocodiles from the... This is the player version of that particular dungeon.
Sure.
It still had the crocodiles and man traps on it.
Cool.
Nice.
Like,
That's awesome.
okay.
There's one somewhere. Ah, yeah. Just to
a
reinforce
man
how screwed we are.
You're so screwed. We're gonna tell you where the traps are, and it's not gonna help.
Okay, crocodiles colored in.
Great. But I guess in the most general sense, where should we start?
Well, of course, if you're mounting an expedition, you'll want to find a guide, and there are several in town, and those can help you prepare for the expedition and lead you through the jungles. Of course, they have costs, they have prices, and all of them have their own, shall we say, quirks. But there are good people in this town that can really help you.
Cinder will be paying, so money's no object.
Sidra will scoff. Like,
I mean, we
But he didn't say no.
are doing this for you.
while you're doing it for Syndra.
Could you share with us some of your sources from the Soulmonger? Like, would we be able to talk to them directly or read them directly?
Any
That way-
primary sources?
I'm afraid most of those sources will be kept close to the chest, friends. You understand. Things are...
No,
No.
we don't.
Things are...
Not really.
This,
Things
what,
are not written in the adventure book that I can... Yeah, you think they would
I want
make it
Cinder to
even
give
more...
Wakanga a really dirty look.
So we are to go off in the jungle.
The majority of my sources, friends, are old books and reports of previous expeditions.
Okay.
I have talked with very few people aside from general guides of the jungle to get an idea of what a party might be dealing with.
So we are to go off in these deadly jungles where the dead are uprising to save Syndra here, and you are not providing us with any assistance?
Well, the tea is good, is it not?
We are
Now, of course, as you...
speaks friendly to animals in a quiet tone, like her hands just start to clench the teacup a little bit tighter.
And of course, if you come by the means, I do have an array of magical equipment that I could sell you at a very reasonable price.
Of course you do.
Ah.
I am the only one in town with such exotic wares. I'd be happy to provide them to you.
But not before we set out on our journey.
Is there a
Find
bank in
this
town?
cure for a death
There are
march.
several, my friend.
We're gonna have to get a loan, aren't we?
I don't think that's ever mentioned. Now,
I'm
Yes,
very
alone.
persuasive.
That's what I meant. Alone.
Yeah, you're gonna get into places you're not supposed to be.
and then actually he'll say, oh, though, before you go, you do seem to be interested in older things and primary sources. I do have something that might be of interest to you. I have it around here somewhere, and he kind of looks through his oddly meager stack of papers and pulls out a weathered, water-damaged journal
Ooh.
Oh.
and hands it to whoever will take it.
I'll take it.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna start reading it.
Let's see. The journal describes a wizard's explorations of various places in Chult,
Yeah.
but not in enough detail to locate them on the map.
Mangalore?
Shit. That one is not mentioned by name.
Fuck.
The unnamed author does, however, make many mentions of his only traveling companion, a shield guardian named Vorn.
Shield Garden, you say?
One of those wrecked the Strahd campaign. We need to find it.
Just got transported out of Barovia.
What was his name?
How did it get out of the elevator?
What was the name of the shield guardian?
Born.
Vorn. V-O-R-N. Some high contrast here.
Yay.
Okay, Wakanga says, I've looked through this journal several times myself. It is amusing, and of course, it ends abruptly. However,
With bloodstains.
no bloodstains. It's just kind of water damaged and whatnot.
Tears of fallen adventures.
Tears of fallen adventures.
I can hear the footsteps getting closer. Last entry.
I can't reach my
Okay, he says, and as you can certainly read as you go through it, but I will tell you now. Though he seemed oddly vague about his wanderings through the peninsula, the writer of this journal was very specific about his last location, and I can provide that on your map.
Okay.
So you see Mabala?
Nabala?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, Camp Vengeance is on there as well?
Yes.
Okay. Go up 1, 2, 3 hectares.
So it's right by the R.
Keep going.
That's 1,
Wait.
2, 3.
Point in the center of a hex because I don't know what hex you're pointing at.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you. And then over, go straight towards Chris, one long hex. Right there. Mark that with that marker. That is the location that he has provided you.
Did I just knock us off?
Probably. This is where. Should I mark it with like a square?
It was
Whatever
this
you
one.
want to mark it with, it's your map.
Yeah.
It was this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought John was pointing to that.
And you can write on that Vorn if you'd like. Squeak. Squeak. Squeaky. That's right.
Adeptly done.
Pretty sure that's right.
That's
Okay.
my dex check for the day.
So that is where the journal seems to indicate.
Great.
If you do find anything there on one of your expeditions, please let me know. I'm interested.
What sort of prices will you be paying?
Ha ha ha. We'll see what happens when you come back.
So we know about Camp Righteous, that is Order of the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
What is Camp Vengeance?
Wakanga does not know about what Camp Vengeance, so he cannot help you with that.
Okay.
How long has he lived here? His whole life?
Yes, but that particular aspect of the peninsula, he is just simply not interested in.
On the map key, what are the shovels and picks?
Yeah.
Mines.
Cool.
What do they mine here?
Mostly iron for some of the infrastructure in town. A lot of gemstones are kind of the regional export as far as minerals are concerned.
Is there? What are the price? Oh, I guess we haven't seen any prices in town. I'm wondering, is there going to be inflation if they're that resource rich?
They are not resource rich. The mines are not particularly productive when it comes to iron and things, but it's cheaper to produce at least a little bit here than to bring it in from outside. The gems and things are pretty productive mines. However, gems fetch a straight up gold value So there's no haggling.
That's why I was wondering.
Because of the environment, heavy armor is pretty rare in Chult because it's hot and humid and shitty. So it will be more expensive.
Okay.
So, and friends, if there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know.
You mean anything else you're willing to help us with?
Yeah.
Of course. What else could I mean?
So he's interested in Syndra's well-being, just not that
That
interested.
much. He wants to kiss.
Should we
But not that-
visit the other prince, the prince that we
Jessamine.
believe to be afflicted, or should we wander through town?
Prince, by the way, is a title, not an indication of gender. Jessamine is a woman.
Yeah, I think we would like a letter of introduction to Jessamine. Possibly the other princes as well. Might be beneficial to getting ourselves properly outfitted to save Syndra's life.
The grip on that teacup's getting pretty tight.
Short-tempered.
I'll let the other princes know that you're working on in our glorious region, but of course, I don't have any sway over them more than anyone else. We all hold equal power here in Yanzadu.
We are just asking for letters of introduction.
You would like a letter that he has written that you possess
That
to
we could-
present to people?
Mhm.
Sure, he'll write those. You know, these guys, I know them kinda. The end. Sign Wakanga.
They're cool.
They're cool. One vouch. And he does say that if you wish to meet with any of the princes, your best bet is to try to find them at the Golden Throne. Their villas tend to be a little more private inside their own villas, and don't look as favorably on people who simply drop by. Golden Throne is the old city palace of the kings that used to rule this area. That the princes use as kind of like an area of general business and meetings and things like that.
You said it's an old city?
No, I'm sorry. It's still in the Merchant's Ward,
Okay.
but it is the old palace.
Is that
Oh, yours doesn't have
Probably.
numbers on it.
Is it like a big structure that's kind of like towards the bottom of the merchant circle?
Probably.
We'll pretend it
That
is.
sounds correct.
We can say that.
wanna
We're
go
the
there.
first ones.
Oh,
running
it's
this
the
game.
big. It's the big circular one.
Right underneath Merchant's Word.
Point to the map. Now go towards you.
That one.
This
Yep.
one? Okay.
Cool.
That's what I feared. My perception.
I do quite well with maps.
Can we write on this?
I'm cool and purpley.
Right on what? Yeah, sure.
You doing right?
I do.
Unless I specifically say otherwise, anything I hand you is yours. You can do whatever you want with it.
Can I borrow a pen?
Thank you. I'll sharpen and pencil.
And even if I was wrong about that being the palace, it is now
Now.
the palace. So
Okay. So perhaps could
any
we
other questions for Wakanga?
could we perhaps have a room to confer as a party?
Sure.
Just huddle up.
This is my study, but you're welcome to use the sitting room, and he'll indicate. And yeah, a room can be privately
Okay.
provided to you. Yeah, good.
Does he have any loose maps lying around? No.
Perception check.
Yeah. Wait.
What was that thing again?
Mangalore.
Bring him over. Or just any other. We can find another one.
Yeah, if there's any other maps.
Nothing that looks interesting.
Sure.
enough.
I like how you think that, but it could just be
Sure.
like, oh look, he's got a pretty picture of a dinosaur. That could be interesting.
They're everywhere.
Do you have any recommendations for dealing with the dinosaurs? Like, do they like their noses to be petted? Or.
I found that like some depending under their eyes.
I can certainly suggest that if you'd like to know more about dinosaurs, you visit the breeding pens.
Wait, what?
They're in the south part of the city.
Delightful.
And there goes our furball.
And this adventure will never get out of the city. It's stay here.
We'll pick you up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, oddly in the things to do, they have made a sparse mention of the dinosaur nose petting.
What?
Well, we'll just have to fix that.
Yeah. Seriously.
4 sessions later.
I've
We
all
have
the
been,
dinosaurs
we
on
have
this
been
block
playing
now.
this adventure for 14 hours. That nose is petted enough.
Move on to the next nose, my friend.